right, Scott, hit it.
From the 80s. On the silver screen I shine. I'm drawing. 80s fantasy movies tonight. 80s fantasy movies tonight. 80s fantasy movies tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
So, 80s fantasy movies. There's so many. I'll tell you, for me, this is gonna be a part 1 of 2 string because I'll probably do a drawing today and then color it tomorrow.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
I opted to go with having a senior moment now. Hold on, let me eat some more popcorn. What's the one with David Bowie?
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Having a senior moment, folks. Sorry about that. So I opted to go with Labyrinth. You think I know it because I just watched it last night for studying to grab a bunch of screenshots for reference. Just, I don't know. It's been a long day.
No worries.
But I decided I'm going to do like a character set. So the main 4 adventurers, if you will, in the show, and then like have the Goblin King behind them holding the baby.
Nice.
So that's I hopefully I'll be able to get the drawing part done tonight. Anybody else have any plans for what they want to work on?
I am drawing an image. It'll be a kind of a composite sort of poster style image based off of the film Lady Hawk.
All right.
That's what I'm doing.
And Scott?
I was going to do Flash Gordon.
Nice. I was really tempted to do Flash Gordon, but I thought, no, I'm going to do Lady Hawk.
If I was going to do Flash, I'd have to do Ming.
Myron.
Ming the Merciless, yeah. Myron the Merciless. Before I get started, I did want to start off with some administrative stuff. Happy belated birthday to Reed, whose birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
And happy birthday to Sandy, who's still not feeling great.
Happy birthday, Sandy.
And I think it's Leah Rose's, cosplayer, Leah Rose. I think it's her birthday today, too. Like,
oh, yeah?
Something in the water 9 months ago. I don't know. So, a couple birthdays. And then jams at Pearl Ridge. We've been doing the old school
guerrilla
style where we just meet up at the food court and grab a table. The issue was we've had a sponsor for our insurance for the last couple of years, and nobody wanted to sponsor us this year. So I tried to see if I could cover it myself, but the problem is we're not a business, we're not a charity, we don't have any legal structure. So I couldn't secure insurance. So I let them know that today, and then they came back and said, "Okay, we'll waive it." Well, would have been nice to know that a month ago, but so we will be resuming jams at Pearl Ridge. I'm just waiting to find out exactly when. But I'm assuming this Sunday will still be the guerrilla style. Maybe we'll pick up on the 19th, the third Sunday this month, or possibly in March. But we will be returning to regularly hosted jams at Pearl Ridge. All right, let's draw.
Right on.
And talk about 80s fantasy movies. Why Lady Hawk, Drew?
Well, I mean, it's an 80s fantasy movie. It's,
I guess I walked into that one, didn't I?
So I think it's like, to me, it's a good example of sort of like, it has like the swords all look ridiculous. They look like they're made out of like really shiny aluminum, and it has this like synth heavy Alan Parsons Project soundtrack, and it's like really melodramatic, and there's this whole romance angle, And it's got Rutger Hauer in it, and he's kind of like an '80s icon, and Matthew Broderick, and so it's like it's supposedly in the medieval past, but it really feels more like a fantasy land. And there's something about the synth heavy score that's sort of anachronistic, like later movies you would do a score that had the lute, or what I mean, it would have like dulcimer or something to give it like a real like period specific kind of sound. But in the 80s you could get like some prog rock group like Legend has Tangerine Dream doing the music, and it has like 80s icon Tom Cruise in the lead. You know what I mean? It's like
he was kind of an unknown at that point, though, wasn't he?
He was relatively new, but I mean, I guess I'm looking backward as opposed to at the time, and it's like looking back, you kind of see all the weird sort of anachronistic little flourishes of 80s fantasy movies. At least that's my inexpert opinion.
I think it's a valid opinion. It's fair.
I don't know.
You stay off a fantasy movie.
In
honest terms.
I think in a way it is.
What's that?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of great because there's always the breaking of the fourth wall, and just some of the ridiculous sort of instances, and things just happening that just seem like completely like magical and impossible.
The backyard run sequel.
Yeah. But
I'm going with the Labyrinth because it's just a freaking fever dream of visuals.
Yeah.
Well, that was what's his name? Brian Froud.
Is the director? I'm not sure.
No, the guy who designed a lot of that stuff, like Hoggle and Ludo.
It wasn't Hansen.
Henson's Creature Shop. He put together a lot of the stuff, but I think Froud was like one of the principal designers, because it just seems like he's really all over that.
It looked like it had Jim Henson. The puppetry certainly looked like Jim Henson.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was like a joint George Lucas Jim Henson project.
Okay, I got you now.
But like I said, I think Brian Froud did a lot of the designs, and I love his style.
Yeah, I could swear I watched it, but I'll tell you, watching it last night is like, I don't remember half of this. This is just nuts. There's a couple musical pieces in it that
yeah,
don't fit. It's just like, well, why are they singing now?
I was a Bowie fan. I mean, I still am. So I mean, that was the main reason I went to go watch Legend, is because I liked David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's pretty ridiculous. I don't know. It's weird because I don't know. In my mind, and it can't be the same time, but I feel like within a short span, I saw Labyrinth in the theater, and then like shortly after, I saw RoboCop in the theater. I think it was like there was a lot of weird stuff coming out at the same time.
That was the 80s, yeah. Hollywood was fueled by cocaine in the 80s, and it shows.
The Dark Crystal.
But did you know that Gates McFadden, who played Dr. Crusher on Star Trek: The Next Generation, she choreographed the ballroom dance scene?
Oh, for Labyrinth?
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I did not know that, but I mean, I'm not super up on trivia either. So
I guess she was primarily a dancer.
Yeah, I knew that she was a dancer.
But yeah,
More you know sign.
Like I saw pictures of her on set with like young Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie, and yeah, I guess she primarily worked on that ballroom sequence.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Is like as an older parent watching that was like kind of squiggy because she's like 14 in the movie and she could probably play younger.
Well, and the crazy thing was that I don't even think that was her first movie. I think she had already done a movie with what's his name, Dario Argento, like an Italian horror movie.
But to have like him kind of flirting with her and
yeah,
it's like ew. It's like,
I guess talking to
he was almost 40. He was like 39 in the movie. I was like
talking to my female friends that like that movie, and they were at like a young age when they saw that. They were like, that was for them. Like they were like, yes, please, Goblin King, I will gladly run off with you.
I guess it's like I said, it just hits differently, as a parent.
Yeah, it's questionable, especially when you look into the truth behind, like David Bowie was like famously involved with like a 13-year-old groupie back in the 70s.
That I didn't know, but
yeah, he traded her. The story is that he traded her to Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin.
Traded her.
I think it was for beer.
Well, that's just wrong.
Yeah, they kind of make a little bit about it in the movie Almost Famous, where one of the groupies gets traded for beer.
All right, let's talk about some other. We talked about the. We didn't talk about what Scott was drawing. What are you drawing again, Scott?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. So why Flash Gordon?
I don't know. That song always sticks with me.
It's a great. That's another tenet of 80s fantasy. It's got to have a great soundtrack.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember liking that movie when I was a kid too. So.
It's great.
Hey, that's Hawkman. Wait, no, that's not Hawkman.
Yeah, what's his name? Brian Blessed. That guy was like, he was hamming it up big time.
Did he do anything after Flash Gordon? He never made it big, right?
Well, I mean, he was in. I think he was kind of a BBC player, and it was like I think he's well known in England. But I mean, I think the other thing that Americans know him for was he was in the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. He was the voice of Boss Nass, of the ruler of the Gungans.
Oh,
see, I would not put that together,
Or would I?
But
have her holding the baby.
Yeah,
I didn't have that reference. Let me see. All right, let's talk about something we're not drawing at the moment. So, Conan, the two Conans came out in the 80s, right?
yeah. And the first movie I love, and I think it's great, but I feel like the one that's the real like 80s fantasy movie is Conan the Destroyer.
I got to put these together in my head. That's the one with
That's the one with Wilt Chamberlain and Grace Jones.
Okay, and the princess, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely more fantasy.
And,
I don't know. That first one's hard to top for me with old James Earl Jones with the long-haired Dulce Doom.
Oh, he's fantastic. No, the first one, I love the first Conan, but that's the Conan the Destroyer. It like lived on cable for a long time, and I just remember watching it like many times when I was a kid. And I think that one was also not rated R. Like I think the first one was rated R, and I was not allowed to watch the first one.
Is Conan the Destroyer? What year did that come out?
Probably
Like early 80s, though, right?
Maybe like
No.
like 84, 85.
Yeah, I think is that the one that was it? Mattel initially had a contract, or they were supposed to do action figures for the movie.
Oh, I think
And-
that was actually for the first movie.
Oh, okay, that would make more sense. And then they became He-Man.
Yeah, they got cold feet when they were like, I don't know if we can make toys for an R-rated movie.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's right. Okay, it was the first one.
Because that original like He-Man design was pretty much a Frank Frazetta's Conan.
Right.
He-Man also 80s movie, right?
Yep,
He's of the
Cannon Films.
Frank Langella was the best part of that movie. Because the whole movie's cheese, but he leaned into Skeletor.
Well, he's a good actor, honestly. And yeah, he definitely leaned into Skeletor. I had read
I don't know.
interviews.
I don't know if it was the very first movie, but it was certainly one of the first movies that had a post-credit scene.
Oh, where he like at the hand, yeah.
Yeah, they like tease Skeletor coming back. It was either that one or Ferris Bueller, one of those two. I'm not sure which one came first.
But Ferris Bueller's one wasn't really like a to be continued ish type of thing, right? It was more of just a end.
So, yeah, it was just a tease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron
But
is
that was
here.
a movie that kind of, I don't know, either that or Superman 4 and Masters of the Universe kind of jammed each other up, right? Because they were being produced at the same time.
Yeah, they were both Cannon.
Yeah.
Was doing both of them. But the story I heard was that like Cannon was so excited. It was like Master Universe was the biggest budget movie that Cannon had ever produced. And Mattel had sunk a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And they were working on it and they were very excited. They had they spared no expense on the sets and costumes. I mean, I think Mobius designed costumes for Masters of the Universe. You know, like they were going all out. And then people who worked on the movie, I guess Mattel was like basically saying like, hey, do any of you got to know anybody that wants like the toys and stuff? And they were saying like people who worked on the movie would ask their friends who had like kids, like, hey, do any of your kids want any Masters of the Universe toys? And they would come, and then the parents would come back and be like, no, the kids don't want them. They say He-Man is dead. And all of a sudden, all the people working on that movie started really losing faith. They're like, what? Kids don't like He-Man anymore? And, you know, it was kind of an indicator that the movie wasn't going to do well.
Movie missed its mark.
But they were going to do a sequel. The director, I think his name is Albert Payun, was supposed to do the sequel, and they had already like started getting stuff together for sets and everything, and they were like, nope, He-Man is dead, it's done. And, like the toy line ended, and so they took everything that they had put together for the sequel to Masters of the Universe and made the movie Cyborg.
I remember the stories about that. That's the Jean-Claude Van Damme cyborg.
Yep.
That's the Jean-Claude Van Damme that like before he was an action star, he was Predator, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was originally going to be wearing a Predator costume, but it was a costume that was all like green because it was going to be green screened out.
Oh, okay.
And they were going to try to like do early CG for the effects. And I guess as they were working on it, they didn't like it.
I thought it was an issue with like the costume didn't move and didn't breathe, and he like I can't do this.
I think there was I seem to remember hearing something that there was a problem with him, that he was not able to do what he wanted to do, and I guess his whole fighting style is jumping around and very gymnastic, and but I think also he kind of chafed a bit that he was going to be under a suit and not.
How are you going to cover up this beautiful face?
Yeah. But they decided to go a different route, and I think didn't Stan Winston design that Predator?
It's probably just as well.
I mean, that's kind of an iconic movie monster.
I'm wondering, this is the thing watching Labyrinth. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the references I got. The dog riding the dog.
Oh yeah, Sir Didymus.
Yeah. It's like you watch that, it's like just a guy running, because he's both parts. He's, they have like the torso sticking through a fake dog, but it's like that's just crazy. Let's see. We talked about Conan. Willow.
Willow's another good one.
And Willow's having a kind of a revival right now since they redid did the sequel series on Netflix.
Is Netflix? I thought it was Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to crap at anybody's Cheerios. But I didn't enjoy the show.
Yeah, you can skip it.
I don't know.
You're talking about the new one.
It's a Willow. The show is the Teen Disney program. And that's fine. They're welcome to it.
Okay. Dark Crystal, which I think Scott mentioned earlier.
Oh, I love that movie.
Another one that's from a design perspective, it just gets full of visual wonder.
Yeah, it's
That's also one that they recently did an updated story, right? Is that
and that was Netflix. It was a prequel, and I really liked it. And unfortunately, it was canceled right after.
It's my fault. I didn't watch it.
It's okay. You're forgiven. You can't watch them all.
Oh, John is here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Hello. Been a day.
All right, so I got the general placement mapped out for the characters I'm drawing. Oh, can you see that?
Kind of.
Good.
John, what are you starting with tonight?
I don't know. I gotta look to this. Maybe Dark Crystal. Maybe someone doing that already.
We were just talking about that.
We were just talking about that one, though.
Oh, okay, that's something else.
No, you can draw that. I'm just saying that's the one we just started talking about. We've been
Nobody's
I'm
called
doing
dibs on it.
Labyrinth. Scott's doing Flash Gordon. Drew's doing some Lady Hawk, and then we just started talking
Flash
about some
Gordon
other
was
movies
80s?
after that.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about Cannonand and Willow.
Fresh Music,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through a list to see, like what qualified. Some were kind of weird. Some was like, really, that's like Beetlejuice was in there, which I was like,
Ghostbusters.
Well, I mean, it's Beetlejuice is a
Ghostbusters was
fantasy.
I guess.
I mean, I guess it's like Beetlejuice is sort of like a,
I mean, I guess there's magic and stuff. I guess.
the supernatural for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so does Ghostbusters fall into there, or is it sci-fi because they have technology?
Well,
It's on that list.
Yeah, you see, Scott saw the same list I did. Yeah.
I don't know. As arbiter,
you're the arbiter.
I'm gonna say that Ghostbusters is closer in the Venn diagram. It's leaning more towards science fiction,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah, see, I would consider it more science fiction.
but there is a
But it's
supernatural
ghosts.
element, of
There
course.
is.
So
Yeah. So,
we got like gods and monsters.
That's why we made Drew the arbiter.
Arbiter Day.
Because when I look at lists online and go, really? Like, I'm looking at a list right now that Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Blade Runner's fantasy? What?
Blade Runner? Yeah, see, I consider that sci-fi.
That is to me that is definitely science fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
What about RoboCop?
RoboCop is science.
RoboCop is definitely sci-fi.
Too bad I'm joined. No, not really. I'm not trying.
Mannequin.
Well,
Kroll, that's
Crawl I
is
would consider,
definitely-
yes.
Everybody says
That's-
crawl.
Krull is definitely fantasy.
Big Trouble in Little
Um,
China.
I would allow Mannequin.
Ooh.
Big Trouble
Yeah,
in Little China. Big Trouble in Little China is
I would
definitely
allow.
fantasy.
I like
Is
when they're
it
playing like video games. Like Lopan and the other guy.
Big Trouble is good.
John, remember when we did our double feature?
Yes, that was awesome.
That was so much fun. Guys, we got to do it again.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that one.
I'm sorry. we had a double feature at Gwen's house, but Gwen was there. And it was me, John, and Reed.
And what did we watch? We watched Enter the Dragon, right?
We watched The Last Dragon
The Last Dragon.
and Big Trouble
The
in Little
Sub-Dragon.
China.
Yeah.
And those two went great together.
Oh, it was funny. I just saw a picture of what's his name? Timok? Timok?
Yep.
The guy that played the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
He's like a stunt guy now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he looks better now.
Yeah.
He's like ripped. It's like Jesus.
Wow.
Hey, did you guys watch Minions yet? The Rise of Gru, where he's like 12 years old.
No, not yet.
I feel like I have,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that memorable to me.
I guess there's like an organization of bad guys, and
Yeah, and then he has like a guy that he like is his idol, right?
but the voice cast is like, it's pretty amazing, and you watch it and you're like, really, that was him? Wow. And he only, there's some guys who only had like 2 lines, But yeah, if you guys get a chance to watch it, then yeah, I think you'll be surprised at some of the voices that they got, some of the actors that they got to voice cast.
Now, Kroll's an interesting one because Kroll is also was Kroll Robert E. Howard too.
You're thinking of Cull.
Oh, Kroll. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah.
King
Cull?
Cull. King Cull was a movie with Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, Hercules.
Yeah. And Cull was sort of like an earlier story that I think it was earlier. I think Howard wrote Cull before he wrote Conan.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff, like some of the themes from Cull, carry over into Conan.
Well, yeah, Conan. Conan is considered a fantasy.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Conan the Librarian.
Yeah, I think any of the sword and sandals stuff counts as fantasy, right?
Excalibur.
Yep. Sword and the Sorcerer. Yep, Excalibur. Excalibur is definitely a fantasy movie.
I saw a couple of cartoons on there. Okay, Secret of Nimh. Secret of Nimh.
Yep. I love
Is it?
Secret of Nimh.
There's a bunch of
Because
Miyazaki.
I mean, because weren't the rats being like modified or something like that? So
They had been experimented on by the Nimh Corporation.
yes, but that's what I mean. It's like that part is the more sci-fi, I guess. You know?
Now, I haven't read the book. I think it's called something like Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats at Frisbee
Yeah.
and the Rats
Frisbee.
at Nimh. I haven't read the book, but I've been told that the movie has more fantastical elements than the book does. But you know,
That was my introduction to Don Bluth.
Yeah.
And then I think Dragon's
Doesn't
Lair came out
NIM
at the same
stand for National Institute of Mental Health?
Sure.
Oh, wow.
yeah, maybe. Because I mean, whatever they gave the rats and mice made them smart. So
Oh, there you go.
We
because
forgot our-
Mrs. Frisbee's husband was one of the mice that were in the lab, and the other was that mouse that was the old man, Mr. Aegis. He was the only other. He and Frisbee were the only mice that survived.
I forgot how to do this. We're all focused on Mike.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. That's the one.
No, I saw The Secret of Nimh in the theater when I was a kid. I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
I thought it was kind of scary, but I dug it.
The way that they handled like hands and there's like warts and stuff on it. It was just interesting. It was more angular than regular animation.
Yeah.
And of course, what's his name? Dom DeLuise as the Crow.
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
No, was it Jeremy? I can't remember the crow's name.
Yeah. Who's
Heckling
watching?
check.
Anyone?
Heckling check.
I don't know who's watching.
Hecklin
No
Jekyll.
one watching? No. Anyone?
You're gonna get us
watching?
canceled, Ron.
Roger Rabbit.
Here's
Huh.
Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of a fantasy.
Wait, was it 80s?
Toontown.
I thought that was 90s.
You might be
Roger
right,
Rabbit
Ron.
88.
Oh,
There you go.
What year?
88?
80. Wow.
Okay, can we
Oh,
talk
what,
about the
the
best
Roger
fantasy
Rabbit?
movie of the 80s? Ready? Princess
ahead.
Bride.
Why
There
does
you go.
why does 88 sound familiar?
What year did Princess Bride come out?
87.
87.
Did it really? Huh.
Let's going back to Excalibur for a minute. Because that came
Okay.
out in 81. And I was still in
Okay.
junior high. And I remember getting to see that in the theater. They didn't check shit back then.
Excalibur, I don't think I got to see until I don't know if I saw it on cable or if I saw it on early video, but I know I didn't see it in the theater.
I saw it on HBO.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Whoa.
With the oak box.
Yep.
And we briefly mentioned Legend, but we can't.
Oh,
we
Legend.
We can't go over Legend without talking about Tim Curry in that freaking prosthetic suit.
Well, you
That was
drew
amazing.
that thing.
I've drawn it a couple times.
I'm glad you finally sold that thing. Yeah.
That the costume is amazing. And he did great. He was fantastic in that part.
Tim Curry.
He's a great actor, but more props to the people that made that suit and for him for wearing that damn thing, still making him being able to move and emote. You know, because I can't imagine it was comfortable. You know,
Isn't that the whole thing with Anthony Daniels as C-3PO and Alan Tudyk?
yeah. Anthony
Oh,
Daniels
that's
had to
funny.
wear the armor.
Yeah.
Do you know who did the prosthetics for that costume?
I do not. Do you?
Was it you, Ron?
No. That's what I'm asking. No, I do. I worked for the guy.
Did you?
Rob Bottin? I think it was Rob Bottin that did it.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the other guy. Him and what's the other guy? Rick Baker and
Rick
Rob
Baker.
Bottin.
Yeah. But earlier on in my career, worked for the guy.
Wow.
He has a studio in Azusa over here, and I remember seeing that prosthetic in the warehouse section, among other body parts and
Oh man.
guts and stuff like that.
The Thing is one of my all-time favorite horror movies.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, The Thing. Now, is that considered a fantasy?
That's science fiction, John.
That's sci-fi. All right.
How about the Gremlins?
Yeah, get it together, John. Anyway,
Gremlins is a fantasy. They're magic. There's some kind of magical thing going on with them.
in his studio, there's an area where you're supposed to put your lunch, with a refrigerator in. So I remember walking in there, and it's just a room full of severed head,
Lovely.
including the one from The Thing.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, learned a lot from that studio.
Don't bring your own lunch.
Yeah, I did finally sell that drawing. That was Corey Sanford bought that.
Oh, really? Nice.
Dragon Slayer. Anybody remember Dragon Slayer?
I love
That was
that
a
movie.
great game.
I know, it's the same font too, That's scary.
I think it's a little bit different, but it's close. It's real close.
That D is like really exact.
Yeah. I love that movie. That movie was supposed to be a Disney movie, but then
What?
Disney got scared, and
Ah.
I think they used one of their other, because I think it was a joint Disney and like Paramount production or something, and so in the States it went out under
Hollywood Pictures, I thought.
it might have been Hollywood, but I know that they put it out as one of their other imprints.
Yeah, I think
But in Europe, it was a Disney movie.
because back then Hollywood Pictures was, I guess, Disney's. It was owned by Disney, but they could put out, PG R-rated films
Yeah,
through them.
and Touchstone.
Yeah,
That
I don't
was
know if it
one.
was Hollywood Pictures, but I just remember that's what Hollywood Pictures was for.
I like
We talked-
Dragon Slayer a lot.
We talked about Conan earlier. What about the spin-off, Red Sonja?
Red Sonja? I remember liking it, but I have to be honest, I haven't watched it since I was a kid.
I don't. Bridget Nielsen's not a great actress.
I don't. You don't watch it for the acting.
She acts.
And it's like Schwarzenegger is in Red Sonja.
Well,
Ernie Reyes Jr. is in Red.
but he's not
Yeah.
playing Conan,
No, he's not.
which
It's
is
kinda
weird.
crazy.
Sure he is.
It is weird.
The Barbarian Brothers. They came out.
I remember the Barbarian Brothers. I remember Lou Ferrigno as Hercules.
Yep.
The Hulk.
What else? I remember The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Trying to remember.
Now, is
that.
He-Man considered a fantasy movie?
Yes, this has been established,
Master-
John.
Masters of the Universe.
Yep.
Sword and the Sorcerer. That's with the sword with the 3 blades. Huh?
Yeah.
Could shoot too.
Baron Munchhausen.
Yep, that's a fantasy movie. That's
Yeah.
Very fantasy. Terry Gilliam, right?
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam, yeah. It had a lot of the Python actors. Robin Williams, Uma Thurman,
Never did watch
Oliver
that.
Reed. Yeah, I liked Baron Munchhausen.
Adventures of Baron Munchhausen.
Isn't that like a psychological thing? Isn't there something called like Munchausen syndrome or something?
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is.
What is that of? I mean, what?
You make yourself sick or something.
Yeah, it's a mental disorder.
Munchausen by proxy. I think is it.
Oh, anybody see Fire and Ice?
I love Fire and
yeah.
Ice.
That animated.
Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
Yep, Bakshi and Frazetta.
I was fascinated by that movie because like seeing Frazetta style in motion.
I definitely prefer Fire and Ice to Bakshi's Lord of the Rings.
Oh
Return
yeah.
of the King. Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was. I remember seeing
Yeah.
the double header of that and Clash of the Titans in the theater.
But Lord of the Rings or Fire and Ice?
Lord of the Rings and Clash of the Titans was together.
I wanted to see Clash of the Titans in the theater, and early on, I think like you see some titties, and my mom yanked me out of there.
Oh, okay.
Like, we're not having any of that.
What's
Wow.
there?
I don't recall that. I remember seeing butt later on, but
Because it's like Perseus and his mom are like isolated on that island or something.
okay.
And I think there was just like a quick shot. I just remember my mom was
Wow.
like, "We're leaving."
So this is like
Was she like breastfeeding him or something?
It's like-
Maybe. Who knows?
40 years before the whole Deadpool incident.
How about John? Here, this one's probably for you. The Black Cauldron.
You know, I never did watch that.
Oh, surprise.
I saw the Black Cauldron at the drive-through,
Oh yeah,
the drive-in. Sorry.
drive through. It was a fast
Drive-through.
Oh, that's
You
a
want
fast movie.
fries? You want fries with that?
Yeah, I liked the Black Cauldron, but I also liked those Pierce Anthony books when I was a kid.
Oh, is that what it was based on?
Not Pierce Anthony. What's the guy's name? Pierce
Pierce
Anthony is
Brosnan.
the Xanthron. It's another guy. God darn it. I have to look up.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
No,
Pierce
writer,
Brosnan,
writer.
that's it. Because the first book is The Horned King.
Oh, pierced tongue.
How about Time
Nope.
Bandits?
I don't know where I got
Time
Pierce.
Bandits, yeah.
Lloyd Alexander is the writer.
See, Time
I don't know,
Bandits, would you consider that? Is that a fantasy?
And of course.
Yep.
Wow.
Isn't that Terry Gilliam again?
Terry Gilliam.
All right, this one might be borderline. Witches of Eastwick?
I'll allow
Witch.
it.
It's a witch. It's a witch. Burn her.
The answer is in the title,
Witch.
which is
Eastwick?
yes, Johnny.
Oh.
I'll also allow Something Wicked This Way Comes. And what's the other
Now-
ones?
Now it's interesting because on that list, I guess Totoro was on that list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of Miyazaki stuff showed up on that list.
it's fantasy.
And,
Totoro,
Kiki's.
Nausicaa.
I guess I don't think about them as 80s movies because I didn't see them until well into the
That's
90s.
true. Well, yeah. Yeah. America never saw it till later. But it did come in Japan about that time.
Sure.
Okay, can we talk about one that's got like one of the weirdest looking creatures to me?
Okay, go ahead.
Never ending story. What is up with this damn dog, snake, dragon thing?
I don't like
Falcor.
Falcor is awesome.
I used to
Falcor
get
the
it.
Luck Dragon.
it.
Why has he got a dog face?
Hey, some dragons look like that. Asian dragons do.
Have you seen a dragon? No.
Yeah, Falcor.
I don't know.
I saw.
I'm picturing some kind of relationship like from Shrek with donkey and dragon. You know, like somewhere there's
Yep. That's where.
Somewhere-
That's how you get luck dragons.
somewhere there's a sheepdog out there that's like, hey, yeah, I hit that dragon.
Yeah, you know, someone designed it.
I saw the Never Ending Story in the theater. I think I went and watched that movie like 4 times.
Yeah.
I love that movie. And again, you've got your 80s synth-heavy soundtrack by Kajagoogoo.
Oh, really?
Cuckoo.
Kajagoogoo.
All right, maybe this one will get John. Another animated one, The Last Unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Where's Reed?
No.
Reed will start singing the theme.
Yeah.
No.
Actually,
You don't
not
like The
good.
Last Unicorn?
That thing used to give me the heebie-jeebies.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like. I don't like. I like, you know, when they have that human turning it into the unicorn thing or back. Like even that last the My Little Pony thing, they do that, and that bothers me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. He doesn't like lycanthropes,
I-
werewolves.
No, see, I don't know why that doesn't bother me, but like them turning into horses and stuff. Give me the
He's just a horse hater.
Wolves, okay. Horses, no.
Yeah. He's an anti-brony.
All right, what about Xanadu?
That's a sin? Well, I guess it's the Muses, right?
It's a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got music by ELO and
Is
Olivia
that-
Newton-John.
Another
And Don Bluth
cocaine-fueled
animated.
script.
Yeah, I'll allow Xanadu
Why?
because I secretly like Xanadu.
Okay.
It's a terrible movie.
Because you like the Orgasmatron.
I don't remember the Orgasmatron in Xanadu.
Oh wait, no,
What?
that's Barbarella. I'm sorry. I got
that's
mixed up.
that's Barbarella.
Yeah, I'm like,
his
whoa,
name?
I missed.
What's it? Duran.
Duran.
Yeah,
Clash of the Titans.
yeah.
We
John
can talk
talked about that.
Harry Hamlin.
Oh, anthology movie, Heavy Metal.
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely got fantasy elements with Den and Tarna.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll allow it.
You got a little bit of everything. There's some
Good.
sci-fi.
Is
some-
that-
Stern.
Yep.
How about Bill and Ted?
Yeah, because there's it's the technology is so nebulous in Bill and Ted. It's almost, it might as well be magic.
Hey, was
Kind of
Bill
like
and
with
Ted
Time
80s?
Bandits. I believe so.
What did you say?
I believe so.
Bill and Ted's 80s.
No, they're 89.
Yeah, that's the 80s.
Yeah, that's still the 80s.
I've never seen this one. Ator, the Fighting Eagle.
Oh my God. So
I've seen it.
those are the Italian knockoff like fantasy movies. They are a hoot.
So like the spaghetti western version of a fantasy movie.
Yeah, they're definitely got their Mystery Science Theater 3000 fodder, and they're a lot of fun.
The Forbidden Zone.
Oh, is that the Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone?
With her via Chavez, the short guy?
I don't remember that one. Unless you're thinking of a different movie.
Yeah, I got one. Deathstalker.
Deathstalker, yeah. Was that a Roger Corman?
I don't know. I just remember Barbie Benton was in that.
Yeah.
You can tell who was like hitting puberty around the 80s.
Oh, like Beastmaster with Tanya Roberts.
Tanya Roberts.
That was an awakening.
Yep.
That was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Well, I think, everybody started with Wonder Woman.
Did I ever tell you my Wonder Woman story?
But
So the show was on TV, and when I was a kid, and I loved it.
Yep.
And I would watch, like I was in heaven because there was like, I seem to remember like Wonder Woman, $6 Million Man, and Incredible Hulk all being on TV like in the same time period, And I just felt like it was this like golden age of like adventure TV shows. And I loved Wonder Woman. And my father got home from work one day, and I was playing in the front yard. And I was just spinning around in the circle, and my dad gets out of the car and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I just went, "I'm Wonder Woman." And my father was like, "Get in the house. Get in the house right now."
I can see that. I can see young Drew spinning around.
That King of the Hill moment right there.
Bobby,
Like,
get in the house.
Boy, ain't right.
I mean, it was
Bobby.
yeah, pretty much.
Damn it, Drew.
I don't know. Just like
Boy,
I couldn't
right.
understand what the problem was. Like, I'm just playing Wonder Woman.
Maybe you shouldn't have dressed in the satin tights.
But that would have been something.
Underoos, remember that?
Oh no, I got caught running around in my underoos. I had on the Batman underoos underneath my clothes.
Oh,
And then if I witnessed a wrongdoing, I'd ditch my clothes and stash them in the bushes and go running around in my Batman underoos.
somehow this has turned into a confessional tonight.
and when was this? Last week?
Yeah. Last Tuesday.
I think I was probably like 5.
Did Chinese movies infiltrate Hawaii back in the 80s? How about Zoo
We had a
Warriors?
lot.
Does that sound familiar to
Well-
anybody?
Well, not on TV, but you could, we always had like Asian friends that had.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if not, back then there was that Golden Harvest
Harvest
Theater.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's like right on the edge of Chinatown?
Chinatown. Yeah.
Like they had like that place looked like it would have been a hell of a theater to go to. It looked pretty cool.
I saw them
I don't
fixing up that
remember where-
Queen, that Queen Theater.
Yeah.
I seen them. They're really renovating that thing.
But Queen Theater it's that place where they have the food court now, right? In downtown.
No. Kamkiwan, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, jump track. Yeah, the Queen.
What was the one in downtown? Was it King? Or is that the one in Waikiki?
Is it the
one that was on?
Is that the one?
Are you talking about the one that was on King Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had like the dragon statues.
But a recycling place, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, that was before my time, but I've seen pictures. And you can see like sort of the remnants of it when you go down that way.
So what was it called?
I don't know.
More Italian titles for you, Drew.
All that for, I don't know.
What now?
More Italian titles. I'm not familiar with Conquest.
Oh my God, that movie's incredible. You would like that movie, Michael. It's crazy. You could draw all kinds of stuff from that one.
Thor the Conqueror.
I have not seen that one. I'm aware of it, but I haven't watched it.
You're the Hunter from the Future.
That starred Rep Brown, who would go on to be Captain America later.
Yep. And then they made an Ator 2, obviously.
Yeah, Ator was popular. I think like in Spain and Italy.
Of course.
John, for you, animated Asterix versus Caesar.
Is that considered sci-fi? I guess it is.
He's got a magic potion, doesn't he?
He does have a magic potion, yes.
The Russian one, The Tale of Tsar Sultan. Anybody seen that?
Oh, wait a minute. Tron is sci-fi.
No, you know what? There's a lot of Russian movies that look really cool, and I haven't seen any of them. And like they made a lot of like fantasy and horror movies and stuff.
No, they really like the Conan stuff. So Conan's big in Russia, so that doesn't surprise me. Here you go, one for Drew.
Sheena with Tanya Roberts.
Tanya Roberts. Yeah.
Jungle Girl. It's a terrible movie, but she looks great in it.
The Dungeon Master.
I have never seen The Dungeon Master.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia list. They have Ewoks: The Battle for Endor.
Oh, Ewoks.
I mean, it does look more like a fantasy movie than a Star Wars movie.
Well, I mean, Star Wars has got a lot of fantasy elements in it anyway. But
did we talk about Lady Hawk?
I'm drawing a drawing based off of Lady Hawk.
Oh, that's right.
We talked about it. I mean, I just mentioned that it had like, the crazy synth soundtrack and ridiculous looking swords and lots of melodramatic, love story stuff.
The synthesizers.
I think it was the music was by Alan Parsons' brother.
Ah.
And one I've never heard of. Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. I'm gonna have to look that up. It sounds familiar.
The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. Is that? I guess that's fantasy.
It's a fantasy. Man, that could have been a triple feature. We could have done Last Dragon, Golden Child, and Big Trouble in Little China. Those would have all fit together well.
I say, I want the child.
The knife.
The knife.
What about the There Can Be Only One movie?
Oh my God.
Highlander.
I love Highlander.
That first Highlander was a shock.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I saw that one with my uncle. He didn't make me leave when you get to see the boobies.
No, that was a little later too. That was 87, right? Yeah. Or no, 86.
Yeah, I think I was allowed to watch R-rated movies when I was accompanied. Okay, this Wizards of the Lost Kingdom looks kind of incredible. I'm gonna have to find this one. Wow.
Oh, okay. We're already an hour in. That's pretty good. I'm flying.
Have you
I'm
ever
not-
seen a movie? It's called something like Prisoners of the Lost Universe or something.
Doesn't sound familiar.
It had Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica. It's kind of more like a 1983. It's kind of more like a John Carter, type of fantasy. Like, I guess what you'd call like a sword and ray gun kind of fantasy. But
Like a space opera.
well, it's like this reporter and this like handyman end up getting transported to like another planet in like another dimension, and it's like a fantasy setting, and it's like there's all these like fantasy characters, and John Saxon is this like evil warlord that they're fighting. It's terrible, but I love it.
What about Buckaroo Banzai?
Yeah, I love that one.
Is that fantasy
I mean,
or
it's-
is it sci-fi?
It feels more like sci-fi to me.
Was that 80s though?
Buckaroo Banzai?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's like 85.
something like that.
Another one I'm not familiar with, but I bet you do is Gore.
So I've never seen the movie. It's based on a series of books. My uncle loved those books. I wasn't allowed to read them because I guess they're pretty filthy. It's like they're very misogynistic, and I don't think it could ever, be adapted today. But I heard that they did make a film of it, but I never saw it. But there's like a whole series of those books, like kind of like Conan. There's tons of gore books.
Okay, let's see. I'm up at 87. Let's go to 88. Alice from Czechoslovakia. Anybody seen that one?
The Alice in Wonderland?
It's just Alice, but it's a Czechoslovakian film.
I think I may have seen it. It's disturbing. A lot of the there's stop motion with like taxidermied animals. It's kind of freaky. It's kind of interesting. It's it's sort of a weird, kind of like haunting sort of fantasy.
Don Bluth's Land Before Time.
All right, I don't know about that one.
Again, is that considered fantasy? Because
They're going
Cute.
back in time, but
Cute baby dinosaurs. I don't know.
from Hong Kong, The Peacock King. Looks like I think it might be animated. Soviet Union, To Kill a Dragon. That looks pretty intense. From Poland, The Triumph of Mr. Klex. No? Hasn't ringing a bell yet?
I'm woefully ignorant of a lot of foreign, especially European movies.
Eric the Viking.
Oh yeah, Tim Robbins.
Yeah. That one I know. I love that movie.
Was that a Terry Gilliam?
Yes. Oh, Terry Jones.
Terry Jones, okay.
But it wasn't, yeah. In the same vein.
Yeah.
Got Tim Robbins, Mickey Rooney, Eartha Kitt. Little Monsters with Fred Savage.
I think it fits into 80s fantasy.
And last one on the
Doesn't
list
have-
is Teen Witch.
I haven't seen it. I know a lot of people like it. I mean, it's maybe not quite as beloved as like Hocus Pocus, but I know there are a lot of girls, especially that like Teen Witch.
Anybody else have anything they want to mention?
There's a Chinese movie. There's two Chinese movies that are, I guess technically they're like Shaw Brothers martial arts movies, but there's sort of magical elements in both of them. The first one is, I think it's called something like, Holy Flame of the Martial World. And it is incredible. It is batshit crazy bananas, magical kung fu going on. Wild. Holy Flame of the Martial World, 1983. And it's, I can't even begin to do it justice through words. You just have to see it. It's just bananas. And the other one is another Shaw Brothers one. I believe it's called The Magic Blade. But, oh no, that one, sorry, that's 1976. That's not eligible. Never mind. So, Holy Flame of the Martial World. That's my other entry.
Anybody else have anything you want to honorable mentions? Or
Oh, Hawk the Slayer. The British film from 1980. That's fun. I guess it's real popular in England still.
Hawk the Slayer. No.
It's
It's like
has a great movie poster.
It's like Chance the Rapper.
I think it's got kind of a cult following in England more than here, but beyond the edge of darkness, there is a world of sword and sorcery.
Go on.
That's the byline on the poster.
Oh,
But,
Then you have to do that synthesizer.
All right, but that's it for me.
all right. We're about our age then. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Who wants to go first? I'm not even going to get the drawing done at this rate.
I'll go. I'll show you what I got so far. You can see it.
So Rutger.
Yep, Rutger Hauer on his horse with the hawk.
There's horse.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to go next? I guess Scott. Scott,
Nice.
we got Little Flash Gordon and Clash of the Titans.
Flash
Yeah.
of the Titans.
But that thing looked like a red dress. I don't know.
I
That's
still could
awesome.
tell who it was.
You endeavored to try one of the hardest angles to draw a face too.
Yeah. that upper. Good call.
Clash of the Titans. I always loved the bad guy. I think it was called Colobos.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kraken.
Calibus.
Yeah, I like the Kraken too, but
on screen.
What was the
like
name of the owl?
sergeant Bubo.
Boobo.
John, you ready?
Okay.
You ready there? You ready there? Me so fat.
Sure.
Ah!
Oh, that's Catiggay and Chewbacca.
I don't know. They look the same. We're good. Yeah, this is a sushi restaurant in Maui. It's probably the closest I'm gonna get to a Fat Boy shirt. So, unless I make one.
Isn't there a Fat Boys restaurant?
It is.
Delirious.
I don't think that was a fantasy movie, was it?
Disorderly. That was the movie, Disorderly.
Delirious, that's the Eddie Murphy thing, right?
Yeah, but this Disorderly
Stand-up special.
There's a fantasy movie called Delirious?
No, there's a it was a comedy, I think, Disorderly.
Oh, Disorderlies with the Fat Boys?
Yeah.
Oh,
They were great in
you
Crush
kidding.
Groove.
I still watch that video every now and then. All you can eat.
I like how they took the pictures off the wall as if they ate them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've gone through a bunch of 80 movies. But now, what are we talking about now, Drew?
Well, we didn't really talk a lot about Krull.
Okay.
We just sort of mentioned it. But
What would you like to say about Krull?
well, I think it's interesting that Krull was originally supposed to be Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
Wow.
And I don't know if it was like the Satanic Panic, like a response to it that had them change the name, or maybe something fell apart in their deal with TSR. But then it became Krull.
Yeah, Satanic Panic was 80s, 70s, and 80s. Could be.
But I just think it's neat that, they were able to sort of salvage it and make it into something else, which I guess was not successful, but I just watched it the other day after we had been talking about, fantasy movies, and I think it still holds up. I like it. But maybe you have to have seen it at a certain age to enjoy it.
Any 80s movies like damage you, like
E.T.
well, that's a fantasy movie, isn't it?
It's science fiction, John.
Science fiction, John.
that's Aliens, John. Aliens.
Is it?
Science fiction, John.
It's a horror movie, horror sci-fi movie.
Why did that traumatize you, Drew, Scott? Let me hear this story.
No, that scene, the scene where they find him, and he's all white, and he's like,
Oh, like by the banks of that little creek?
yeah, it's like, oh man,
That is rough.
that image pops into my head. Used to pop into my head when I was a kid. Like,
Did you have that? Did you have that? The Atari game? Was that?
no E.T.
I just remember like E.T. mania sweeping the nation.
Didn't they change it so that instead of the guns, they're walkie-talkies now or something like that?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the video edit to the
Yeah.
movie?
They edited the movie.
So the agents aren't running around with guns anymore. They have walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies, yeah.
Interesting.
Gas station.
I mean, I put E.T. next to Close Encounters in terms of like I feel like they occupy the same space.
Space.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Good one.
And it's like I feel like the same government agents that would try to, take ET are the same ones that tried to like bamboozle Richard Dreyfuss and everybody else at Close Encounters.
Richard Dreyfuss. Someone just posted it the other day of remember Superman 3?
Mm-hmm.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
And then remember the sister gets caught by the computer and turns into that kind of robotic thing.
Yeah.
That freaked me out as a kid.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Shoot, Carrie freaked me out as a kid.
Oh, Carrie. I think Carrie's
Carrie's a scary movie, man.
Yeah.
That's why it freaked me out.
I think it's funny that they were casting Carrie, the Godfather, and Star Wars at the same time.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah. So it's like Brian De Palma, George Lucas, and Francis Ford Coppola would run they would like basically team up together and sit in on all the readings, and then they would like switch off, and like somebody would read for like Carrie, and then they'd have them read for Star Wars, or somebody might read for like Godfather, and they read for Carrie.
Oh.
Here, Sean Lee says Time Bandits. It wasn't scary and I liked it, but I would have nightmares about the doors.
The what?
About doors.
Oh.
The little people. I love Time Bandits, and I mean, even as a kid, I especially loved that his parents got blown to smithereens at the end.
Yeah, that disturbed me as a kid. That and when he was the big head, bring back what you have stolen from me.
Oh yeah,
Like,
God.
You know what?
Ah!
None of that scared me.
I
But
love
Carrie did.
Carrie was meant to scare you. It's a scary movie. It's Stephen King.
You know what? To this day, I don't think I'll watch that thing all the way through.
Oh, the movie I can't watch all the way through and still have not watched all the way through is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I will, but I'm still kind of afraid of that one. But I really like Time Bandits when I can't remember the name of that actor who plays basically God. I think he's the same actor who plays the wizard in Dragon Slayer. And when he shows up at the end to just sort of like to tidy up everything,
Yeah.
and he just seems as this sort of put upon, bureaucratic, kind of stodgy old guy. And then when the guy is like when his little the Time Bandits are basically like, thank you very much, sir, and all this so on, and he's like, he just goes, yes, well, I am the nice one, and it just kind of cracks me up.
I always crack up when John Cleese that shows up as Robin Hood. And he's like, hello, I'm Robin Hood, hello.
Have you met the poor? Charming people.
I like when he goes to the little guy and he says, how long have you been a robber? And he goes, 4'1". 4'1". Wow. Remarkable.
But it's like when those bandits get him and they end up coming together, they're so dirty and filthy and like, everybody looks like pox ridden, and they're like, we're going to take you to meet the boss. And then he comes out and John Cleese is like in this like perfectly clean shirt and like, looking like the Howard Pyle Robin Hood. It's so absurd.
And after they give the poor the loot, that guy punches him out.
He's like, is that necessary? Yes, I'm afraid it is. All right then.
Ah,
Well,
Carry
but
on.
The guy punching him just speaks gibberish, you know. And then the guy who translated said, "Ah, yeah, okay." So, that was a great scene, and don't forget about the Black Knight. Wait, no, that wasn't the.
That's funny Python.
Yeah, what the Python. God, he's Mike.
But I mean, they're all like related. They're all,
Yeah, it's the Python troop. So.
I love that actor Ian Holm as Napoleon in Time Bandits. Who else is there? Sean Connery, of course, is great.
Yep, King David.
And that whole part with the Minotaur was fantastic. I love that part. Yeah, that movie's a lot of fun.
Yep. Great movie, Time Bandits.
That was produced by George Harrison.
Oh, really?
Set on you.
That's right.
That's the song you think of, Scott, when you hear George Harrison.
By himself, yeah.
Not Taxman or
I'm not familiar with him.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Or...
Oh, I feel bad now.
That is a classic.
Okay, we
I like
tried.
All Things Must
We
Pass.
tried like scenes that damage you. What is like the absolute favorite fantasy scene from the 80s?
riding Falcor. No.
I mean, if that's yours,
Fan? Ooh. Yeah, mine is sci-fi, so mine don't count.
That's where it's at these days.
I think I have to go back to Legend. And
Think about Strange Brew.
Legend.
Yeah.
I thought Mia Sara was beautiful in Legend. And I think I liked her even more when she was like turning evil.
What was the question?
Like
favorite fantasy scene.
Oh, scene.
Yeah. If you watch the movie and it just stuck with you.
Well, yeah, mine's mostly sci-fi.
Yeah, you talked about when she's turning evil, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is I guess I call it the seduction scene. I don't know. When he's turning her. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Legend. I saw that in the theater. I thought it was good.
Anybody else have any favorite fantasy scenes? No, like Princess Bride fantasy, something.
As you wish.
I know that you know that that you switched the poison.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Not to get off track, but did anybody see the version of Princess Bride that a bunch of people put together during the pandemic?
Yeah.
You're talking about that.
with the cardboard boxes and stuff.
Yeah, it's like all different actors and comedians like did parts of Princess Bride.
Oh, maybe I didn't see that then.
Like Charlize Theron does Fizzig. Like she plays Fizzig and it's incredible. She does the voice very well.
Well, now I want to see it.
It's great. There's a part where Patton Oswalt is Fazzini.
Yeah, see that makes sense.
This like it's done in segments, and there is a cut somebody put on YouTube where it's the whole thing put together. But they did it. It was like every day somebody would upload like a segment, and so during the pandemic, I would watch like each installment. But yeah, it's great. What's his name? Rainn Wilson. He plays. He does Pizzini at one part. There's lots of different Inigos. Keegan Michael Key does a good job as Inigo.
Who was playing the kid, and was that Adam Sandler? No.
In the beginning, it's Fred Savage playing the
It is
kid,
Savage.
and then Adam Sandler is playing the grandpa.
Oh, okay. Fun.
Yeah, it's really good. Paul Rudd does a great part as Wesley. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Well, you have me at Charlize Theron plays physics, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
It's a fun little time waster. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna say Big Trouble in Little China.
Because you
When
remember
they-
what old Jack Burton tells them, huh?
Well, my favorite part is when they take the potion and they're getting ready to
And the elevator.
in the elevator, and they just like they have this like overwhelming sense of well-being,
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
and then
That one guy does the symbol.
yeah, it's just like little asides, and I love what was the guy's name? Egg Shen. I love that actor because he was in The Golden Child.
Yeah.
He's been in everything.
He's been a lot
He
of
was
stuff.
he was in Prince of Darkness.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He was
he's
in MASH.
awesome. Yeah, he's great.
Before
Well,
James
so
Hong.
was, so was that guy. His friend, Jack Burton's Asian friend. He was in
Oh,
Prince of
yeah,
Darkness
yeah.
too.
You're right. He was. I forgot he was in Prince of Darkness.
Yeah. You know, one time
I
we
like
were going to the after party for. Well, actually it was the Christmas party for TMNT, and so it's in downtown. So a friend of mine says, "Hey, we can park here. It's by this church, and it's free parking." I was like, "Okay." So we go over there. It's dark. It's really scary, and I'm looking at the church like, "Shit, this looks familiar." And I said, "Hey,
Oh no!
doesn't this church look familiar?" He goes, "Yeah, that's the church they used in Prince of Darkness." Like, what?
Oh wow!
Really? He goes, "Yeah, go in the front. In the front, there's a plaque that says that Prince of Darkness was filmed over here." Like, oh, it honestly, it looks scarier when we were there than in the movie because it was dark. They had just one street light on. I was like, and I was telling the guys, "You guys are worried that we might get jumped?" And they were like, "Oh, we're not worried, bro. We have you here to protect us." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna run faster than any of you if that ever happens." So fair warning.
Yeah, that's the whole secret. You don't have to run faster than the bad guy. You step out, run the other one.
Yeah.
So they assume that the Asian guy knows, martial arts.
Well, actually, we were all Asian, so
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
You don't know karate? I thought you knew karate.
Yeah.
I thought you knew karate.
because that's how we roll in the animation. We just stick to our own
see.
kind. Even though they were all Asian, I mean, come on, we're artists. We're not going to beat you up in a fight. Unless it was against other artists.
And now I'm picturing two animation studios meeting up Anchorman 2 style, having a fight.
Oh my!
I mean, I'm pretty sure we could kick the SpongeBob crew.
Music, the pineapple under the sea.
Or maybe not. I don't know. I haven't. They could have some big ass production guy over there that we didn't account for that shows up. Like, wait a minute.
They're gonna bring in a ringer.
Yeah.
Where did he come from? Oh, he works in the mailroom. Wait a minute.
We just hired him today.
Have you met our Samoan tweener?
Yeah, there's not a lot of Polynesians, unfortunately, in the animation business.
Why are you shutting out the Samoans?
I don't know.
That's racist.
They are. Animation. What's wrong with you? Hating on the Polynesians. Well, yeah, I've really never met any. I'm sure there are. There has to be. I never come across any Polynesians in animation. There's this one producer I thought was Polynesian and one. Turns out he's just Black Portuguese.
There you go.
You do full paw.
Oh yeah,
My
are you Polynesian? Yeah, no.
My dumbass thought a Filipino girl was Mexican, and she got real mad at me.
Okay.
I know her last name was Rodriguez. She looked like one of my cousins. I mean, there are similarities between Mexican people and Filipino people.
Yep.
Yep.
She was like, I'm not Mexican. I'm like, and I was like, you're not? She's like, you thought I was Mexican? And I was like, maybe. And then she was all, yeah.
Worst blind date ever.
Oh, I didn't even make it that far.
That's what you
Who
kicked her out of the
designed
car, right?
That crawl thing. I remember there was an arcade game of crawl. We didn't get very far.
Yeah. It felt like it was built on the same like template as Jungle Hunt. Do you remember Jungle Hunt?
Kinda.
I like to crawl at the arcade.
Although I'm sure when you play it now, you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Somebody was playing. Where was I? I think somebody had Pitfall like on their phone or something.
Oh yeah.
That brought
The
back
Activision stuff you can.
I was excited. I was like, wow, Pitfall.
The Willow arcade game. Kind of
I
like
don't remember.
Ghouls and Ghosts. There's a side scroller. Ghouls and Ghosts.
There was a video game called Rastan.
Yes.
That was supposed to be Conan, but I guess they lost the rights to Conan, so they just changed the name to Rastan.
Wow, that's a big stretch there. Like, there's no two ways that it would be. You look confused for Conan.
But I guess originally when it was being developed, it was supposed to be a Conan.
Or that cartoon in the 90s, Conan the Adventurer.
I was disappointed.
That one?
Hey, wasn't there a Rambo?
There was a Rambo.
There was a
There
Rambo
was a
cartoon.
Rambo
There was
cartoon.
The
there
future.
was a Chuck Norris.
Karate
There was a
Kid.
Karate Kid.
Freaking
cartoon.
R-rated movie. They made a cartoon out of it.
I didn't know how they were going to do Beetlejuice as a cartoon.
They did that one. Is actually not bad.
Beetlejuice is great,
Yeah, Beetlejuice is great. So I was like, okay.
but Conan the Adventurer, I was like, I remember seeing him like the Adventurer. Like, why can't he be a barbarian? What's wrong with barbarian?
Because he went to library in school.
The-
They called in the library.
Dave the Barbarian. You remember that one?
Does UHF count?
UHF. UHF is not a fancy movie. It's a good movie. It's not a fancy movie.
Hey, Weird Al's coming.
Did anybody get tickets?
No.
How many millions of dollars are tickets to see Weird Al?
Actually, it wasn't the
$80.
VIP like
And VIP was like $300.
something like that? But you guarantee meet him and take photos with him and stuff. So
You're in that first row.
go backstage. Yeah.
You can do that the Bill and Ted thing, the backstage passes.
I've only gotten to do like backstage once,
Who was it for?
and it was White Zombie.
Ooh.
Me and my friend went to go see White Zombie, and the band that opened for them was called the Reverend Horton Heat. And we had managed to work our way to the front, like right by the stage during Reverend Horton Heat. So we were like in a good position for when White Zombie came on. And my friend was like, hold on a minute, I see somebody I know. And he kind of left and was like, left me to sort of hold our spot by the stage because it was general admission. And I'm standing there and I'm waiting for White Zombie to come out. And then out of nowhere, these security guys and these big, like, the big dudes in these bright yellow windbreakers come up and they're like, are you Andrew? And I was like, yeah. They're like, come with us. And they take me over, like they open the barricade and let me in. And they take me in front of the stage and then up the steps to the side. And there's my friend Randy standing there. And apparently he saw somebody he knew that worked at the venue. And so he got to hang back there and he asked them if they could come and get me. So they got me and pulled me backstage, and I got to watch all of White Zombie from backstage.
Wow.
Good thing you didn't lie because you thought like you were getting kicked out. Like, are you Andrew? No.
I seriously, we had so much weed on us. I thought, oh God, Randy got busted and we're getting kicked out of here. And it was like the opposite. It was a good thing. I was like, wow. Yeah. I was so close, I could feel the heat from the fire pots on the stage. It's like stuff was blowing
There
up.
we go.
It was wild. But that's the only time I ever got to do anything like that.
I think in Japan we got to go backstage and see Musically Chill them
No, nice.
at their concert.
Scott, do
Yes.
you like Japanese music?
Kind of not. I mean, my playlist of it is very small.
Why are you asking him?
Well, I don't know because because you just talked about going to Japan, so I don't know, maybe.
So it's because of the Kamen Rider and Kikai stuff.
Oh, okay.
The stuff that yeah. It's like me. I only put like the the anime themes that I know of. You know?
Yeah. I just recently discovered a genre of music called city pop,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and I'm like kind of obsessed with it right now. It's like all
Really?
I kind of want to listen to. Yeah, it's
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
What is it called?
city pop.
City.
Pop.
So it's like it's kind of like more like 80s disco.
Oh.
So it's like it'll have like really like good like groovy bass, but then with the addition of like keyboard like synthesizers and
It's pretty easygoing music.
it is. Well, it ranges from sort of like ballads, like kind of soulful ballads, to
Yeah.
some more danceable kind of numbers.
It's going to remind you of like music from like City Hunter and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I think some of the performers that were like real popular did music for like City Hunter and
Yeah.
like other stuff. But
Hi, Puffy Amiyumi.
well, that's like later, and I like them.
90s.
And they did the Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
They had their own cartoon.
Yeah.
How's that gonna work?
And it was like,
How's
I
that?
think,
That was an interesting.
what's his name? Andy Sturmer from the band Jellyfish is the one who kind of like brought them to the US or something.
Oh,
Well, I like Larkin Seal. If you know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
It's a rock band. Go look it up. They're our age, John.
Are you like making up things again, or?
Go look it up. They're one of the biggest bands in Japan.
I'm just kidding. Who is it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what.
Larkin Seal.
Larkin
Oh,
Seal.
Larkin. They did a Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. They're not, don't know them for that. I mean, they just use their music for that, for their intro. Was it the intro? Like one.
Yeah, that was
one
like
season.
really catchy. That was my favorite intro.
But they shouldn't be known for that.
They performed over here actually for Kawaii Con.
No way.
Mhm.
They're too big.
That was their last. That was something like their last performance together.
No. They're way too big for a Kawaii Con.
Well, right now, my favorite Japanese performer is, I think it's Meiko Nakahara. And she had a song called Fantasy that was a big hit.
Mariah Carey.
The Mariah Carey one.
Yeah.
Aldo Nova.
I don't know. It looks like she did some theme music for an anime called Dirty Pair.
Oh.
And I think it was the end. It says it was the ending theme for the 1985 anime series Dirty Pair.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then she did the
Why?
theme for Kimaguri Orange Road.
Oh, I know that one.
Says it was the third opening theme song. And then she did the third ending song for that one.
I'm not too sure which is which, but yeah.
Anyway,
No,
so it looks like
yeah.
it looks like a lot of these like pop performers end up doing anime music, but anyhow.
As you do.
But I was just curious if you were over there, if you were like, enjoyed any of the music while you were there.
Just that Tokusatsu concert, Tokusatsu anime concert that we had gone to.
I'm showing this here. This is from Jack in the Box, and Jack in the Box has this thing now with it's like a new drink that they have Red Bull in here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I saw the commercial.
Yeah, so it has Red Bull in it. So
To get all amped up.
yep, that's my drink for tonight.
Oh, I forgot that I had a drink and I left it in the kitchen.
Go get it.
Yeah, you can get it now.
I gotta go get my drink.
Got about 15 minutes.
Oh, one more thing I have to show you guys. But, since we're talking about fantasy, I'll wait till Andrew comes back.
Now, show it now.
No.
Yes.
So anyone know what's going on with Dungeons and Dragons and the whole like Wizard of the Coast and Hasbro and all that stuff like that?
The open gaming license issue.
Is that what the big issue is?
Yeah.
Something about some.
They changed the rules on the open gaming license, and then everybody had an uproar, and then they changed it back, and then they're slowly gonna introduce new changes to it. But because the new changes would have had people like Critical Role having to pay.
Oh, I see, for licensing and stuff like that. Yeah. Makes sense.
Even though they're not, because they're doing a show based on the rules and stuff,
Right. See, because that made me concerned because of the whole. Because since I do the Dungeons and Dragons, I'm like,
I don't think your stuff would have fallen under that because it was mainly a rules
It's parody.
issue.
Oh,
No,
it's
but
a rule thing. Okay, yeah.
So if you're making if you're making gaming content, either like say like modules could have been. An
Oh,
issue
right.
for people,
Okay.
You
Because I heard they were actually gonna do like another edition or something like that. So like all new rules, all new books.
Right,
And-
but they did the open gaming license and they changed that, and then they had to like quickly roll it back. Oh no, that's, we're sorry, we didn't mean that.
Oh yeah, because I think the fans are in an uproar. Okay, no, I was just curious where it stood. That's why. So
Yeah, well, because from the beginning, D&D was made with an open gaming license. I mean, you could make content using the core rules. But now, obviously, the definition of content has changed. They didn't have streamers and stuff back then.
that's right.
All
right. So Andrew and I went to Target, and then I found this thing.
Hold on.
Oh, is it the new action figure or? Oh,
it's the Transformer.
It's a transformer, so it's
The
like
Dicimals.
yeah, it's Diceling. So it's
Diceling.
like this, and then it'll transform into like this one that's opened up. Kind of cool. The other ones don't look as good.
Close it up again.
Huh?
Close it up again.
I'm not gonna close it up. It takes forever. But yeah,
it's
look
like
at
a
that.
funny eye.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So yeah, the red dragon looks the best. They have a black dragon. They have a beholder. They have an owl bear. I think those are going to be all the monsters in the movie, because it does say like the honor among thieves on here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
And
looks
also
like
the
it could
movie.
be good.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for that.
I'm
one.
excited to see it, but now I guess that's a spoiler. They're gonna have a beholder. I guess.
No, that was in
Come
the trailer.
on, there's gonna be a beholder. They gotta do
Well,
a
because
beholder.
we saw gelatinous cubes, we saw mimics.
No, but they had a beholder. They had a gelatinous cube. They had a
They had a
mimic.
beholder. I
Yeah.
didn't see the beholder. I saw the owl bear.
I think it was in the first trailer.
I gotta go check it again, but yeah.
And then you see the druid turns into an owl bear.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, what is that? An owlbear.
I'm excited. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think it'll look. I think it's gonna be fun.
I want to see all the all the Easter eggs to like
Yeah.
the gelatinous cube and
But
everything else.
But this series, they also brought back the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons characters,
Yeah.
and that was the one that Drew was kind of upset that we couldn't find Sheila and all the other characters.
We saw Venger. I should
We
have
saw
bought
Avenger
it.
and Dungeon Master. Yeah.
I should have grabbed it because then we went back and it was gone. But
I saw.
I'm not really like a completist.
John, as long as you're up, you want to do last looks at the.
But I heard an Easter egg to the movie was the voice actors who played the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon characters. They're going to be in this movie
Yeah. Oh wow.
as a little cameo.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's one of
I
the
think
things.
it'd be
That's
cool.
one of the things I like about all these like movies based on older properties, where they're like at least giving some love to the originals.
I think so. I mean, at least if they show up somewhere or something like that, you know what I mean? But anyway,
So what is
so
this one?
yeah, so this
What
is what's that? So we got Dark Crystal meets Star Wars, and then because it said Asterix, I just decided to do
Uh-oh.
Asterix and Obelix in Hawaii.
Oh, there you go. That looks
It's
good.
like one of those like obelisks or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I got tonight.
All right. Good stuff. As always. I mean, I'll bring myself up again, but I've been, because I was looking at all the reading and stuff too, and then I had like millions of references. So I didn't get very far tonight.
No, it's fine.
I let everybody down.
Yeah, you did.
Good.
You can see this is going to be the Goblin King, and then Ludo,
Yeah.
and then I want to say Hogwarts. What's his name?
Hoggle.
Hoggle.
Oh, no one did Willow tonight?
No one did Willow. But I'll continue this on my own stream sometime.
Yeah.
I have been recording my process so that I can edit it all together at some point. Who wants to go next?
Very cool.
Well,
Scott. There's Scott. All right.
Oh, very nice.
hey, Lopan.
Well, I thought that was Myron.
It's Myron Pan.
They got Flash of
My-
the Titans and Flash in the Pan. Oh, fun. Nice. The poison.
Never ending story? No.
Yeah.
And on
With
top
the-
is
With the dog snake dragon?
Prince Bride.
I don't know. Something about the design of that thing just bugs me. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Drew?
I didn't finish, but this is way more progress.
It's a good horse.
Thanks.
Horses are not easy.
Horses are not easy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Rucker Hauer looks okay.
Yeah,
The horse looks pretty good.
The horse, the scale looks off.
Yeah, it seems a little squat, but I ran out of paper, so
Yeah, I think I just left the legs cut off from the paper.
yeah. Well, I can always
Looks
change
fine.
it. It's only in
Maybe.
pencil right now.
Because it went from a horse to kind of a pony.
Well, I mean, the thing is I'm looking at like a photo reference, you know. And Rucker Hauer must be pretty tall because his legs hang real far down on this horse that he's riding it.
Hmm.
Because I feel like I didn't make his legs as long as they are in the picture.
Looks good, man.
Maybe I'll make Rutger Hauer smaller and make him
There
more
you
in proportion with the horse.
Take Drew down. Anybody watch anything cool right now?
Last of Us.
Minion.
Last of Us. Anybody? Yeah, I'm watching Last of Us. Anybody else? Ron, I take it.
Yeah.
That could be a fun topic sometime down the road.
Yeah, all the mushroom people.
Yeah, drawing the clickers. John, you're not watching Last of Us?
No.
I let
No.
HBO Max go.
You guys saw the Comic-Con Honolulu is coming back this year.
When?
Yeah.
They don't have the dates released, but it'll be August.
Do they have that art auction thing also?
They said, how's it?
Yeah, they do an art auction also.
Like Kawaii-Con?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday was Reed's birthday. We talked about this at the top of the show. Today is Sandy's birthday.
Andy's birthday.
Well,
So,
happy
somebody said the
birthday,
last
sir.
episode was pretty good.
Yeah,
Of The Last of Us.
unless you're a hardcore, right-wing survivalist that's a homophobe, then
Is this a woke zombie show?
Well, a lot
I'm
of
just-
people thought this last one was because the
I'm just
character
playing.
because the character doesn't die in the well, it does later, but doesn't
yeah,
die
he
in
does.
the
Well, one character's already dead in
No,
the
it's-
game, and the other one dies in the game.
yeah.
Um,
But you played the game, Mike?
no, but I've enjoyed the show, so I've been listening to the podcast, and the podcast has the creator because the show is made by the co-creators of the game.
Mm.
So it's interesting to listen because they talk about where they deviate and why they deviate from the game. So if you're enjoying the show, I recommend listening to the HBO podcast about the show afterwards. Okay. I'm trying to find what's next week's topic. Scrolling. You can't find my damn list.
Next week is
It wasn't Ant-Man, was it? That's
No, Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man's the last one of the month. Big hero, little hero kind of thing.
Yeah,
Side
that's
changing
last.
heroes.
what else do we have?
I know you listed it.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through Facebook and I can't find my list.
Here we go. Adam's Family. Oh, next week is cover album. I mean album. What you call that?
Oh, album
That's right.
covers.
Yeah.
Album
that's
covers.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So album cover art. I've got an idea for that one. I'm going to make a gag album cover for Taskmaster. I don't know if anybody watches Taskmaster.
Yes.
And then
Great
after
babies, right?
Adam's Family was what, Scott? That was the what do you call
Adam's
it,
Family
Scott?
is the side
Adam's
side
Family.
heroes.
And the last
Size.
one is
Size.
Yeah.
Side Changing Heroes. Yeah. So album cover art next week. Everybody coming back for that?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll be
think
here
so.
for album cover art.
Sure.
You can be drawing Yeti or Eddie. I mean Eddie.
No, you get Yeti. You get Eddie.
I've drawn Eddie twice on a 4x8 piece of
white
masonry.
Do you follow Eric Powell on Instagram at all?
Oh, the Goon.
Yeah, the artist writer of the Goon.
I used to follow him on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter anymore. So
He posted that when he was in like junior high, he would draw pictures of Eddie and charge metalheads like $5 for a picture, and he would
Oh,
sell
wow.
them on the bus when he was a kid. And when he went on a date with the woman that he would end up marrying, he was telling her about it, and she was like, "I want a picture of Eddie." So he drew her a recreation of the famous cover where he looks kind of like Deathlock, and gave it to her, and then they end up getting married. But he said
Wow.
she never paid him $5. and when he signed it on the picture, it says, "You owe me $5."
That's funny.
And he says he still hasn't gotten that $5 yet.
I missed getting talking to him in Maui because he was a guest in Maui.
I only got a chance to talk to him at the party. I didn't get a chance to talk to him at the con.
Yeah. That was a hard thing having the artist alley separated from the rest of everyone else.
Yeah. Well, they can't just have us lowly breathing the same air as the talent.
I agree.
John, don't you have something coming up here? So when's the toy collector?
Oh,
Day? Is that
what?
already-
What's that?
When's the collector show?
Collector show is the 24th. 24th to 26th will be the Hawaii Collector Expo at the Blaisdell.
Okay.
They're also going to have the anime swap meet for Kauai Con that same time as well. So that'll be in the. Also, I need to plug that I'm still doing pre-orders for my new Calabash book coming up.
Yep.
Oh,
Calabash
that
number
link out.
3. Yeah. I don't really have a link here, but just go to jonjmurakami.bigcartel.com. And yeah, so Calabash book number 3, we're hoping to get the pre-orders by next week, Tuesday, so I can go send it to press so we can have it for the collector show.
Okay. What else? KawaiiCon, the end of next month. End of March.
That's
first-
frightening
first of
how
April.
it's just so fast already. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Got to work on those bags.
I haven't heard anything more about the event that Sonny was working on, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. The one in Kapolei.
That's not good. Oh, Kapolei. I didn't hear about that one. Oh, there's another one that someone told me about. I gotta go look to my emails.
This not the Super Saturdays in June.
Yeah.
Kauai,
they're actually,
Kauai Comic Convention is the week after KawaiiCon. That's going to get.
yeah. So KawaiiCon is March to April, and then the Kauai Comic Convention is on the 8th, which is the following Saturday.
Okay. I guess that's it. Everybody say aloha.
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 See you next week. For those of you that you watch, thanks. I know we had Brett and Shanley and not sure who else.
Yeah.
But, thanks for hanging out with us. You're welcome to actually come in the stream too.
Next week.
All right. Aloha.
Night.
Night.